Good afternoon, Marissa. How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with me today. I was excited to talk to you a little bit more about your work background and some of your experience and what you've done. So I'm going to go ahead and give you the floor. Why don't you tell me a little bit about what you've been doing for work lately?
So I moved to Florida a year ago and I've been working for Metrics LLC. So the company employs maintenance technicians all around northern, central, and southern Florida, as well as the surrounding states. And so these maintenance techs, they do repairs at various FedEx warehouses. So there's about like 50 to 60 maintenance technicians, and I had been working in the office doing basically dispatching. So we've been assigning tickets to different technicians and then seeing those tickets through to completion of the job, and then preparing those jobs to be invoiced, as well as monitoring the tech's drive time, labor time, all of that stuff. So you're basically just, dispatching and keeping track of them.
Okay, great. And you're doing that now remote.
Yeah,
And before that, you were doing that in office.
correct.
Okay, perfect. And as far as the detailed aspect of that, I'm
Mhm.
sure it's pretty crucial that you make sure everything is set in line because,
Mhm.
of course, it could be a big mess. They're driving walls
Yes.
and such. How do you keep yourself organized?
So just I've had like two computer screens and then just like notes and things like that. Some people prefer having their notes online or like a spreadsheet, but I also prefer to have mine written as well, just so I can know. But yeah, you basically, the software has the list of the jobs and you have to go through and you just have to look over it and make sure that everything looks right. But you're not the only pair of eyes on it. So it goes through at least two or three people before a job goes through to invoicing. So you can make sure, if someone didn't catch something while they were looking things over, that it can be, fixed before you invoice it. So it's always nice to have another pair of eyes looking through something when you're editing details and that.
Yes, of course. And then as far as calls, were you taking a lot of inbound calls, outbound calls? Are you comfortable on the phone?
Yeah, absolutely. So for this, it's been more talking to maintenance technicians and taking their phone calls. So if they need a part ordered, that is like one of the main things, or if they need to communicate something about where they're at and, the situation of what actually needs to be done, those are the phone calls that we take. But yeah, as a dance instructor, I facilitated leads. So I took a lot of lead calls from people wanting to schedule, wanting to inquire about the business. Yeah, so very comfortable taking phone calls, also for scheduling, things like that.
Okay. So I'd like to end this on just a little fun fact that we talked about before. Um,
Mhm.
do you want to share a fun fact about yourself? Maybe where you're going later?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a professionally trained ballroom dancer, so I taught dance, and I'm gonna go to dance class later. So that's probably the thing that brings me the most joy and what I like to do outside of work. I like to dance.
I love that. All
Mhm.
right, well, I'm going to go ahead and stop this part of the interview, but don't go away. We've got a few more things to chat about. Thank you.